Hi, I'm Dara Dietz, and today I had a wonderful phone conversation with one of our members dealing with bone issues. She had traveled abroad and came back over 10 years ago and began developing excess calcium deposits in her bones. We put together a bit of a program, and the suggestions I offered are recorded in the following interview. What is going to turn this around in your body, and it's regardless whether this is, a cancer issue or something funky like this barnacle issue. The liver is the vacuum cleaner of your body. The liver is what's going to reverse it, even though we don't completely understand what's causing it. The overview is the bowels need to be open and working well. The liver needs to be doing its job and able to constantly move the waste out, neutralize and pull the waste from the body and move it out. The kidneys also detox the blood, and they need to be open and moving well. And the immune system, when you are dealing with any situation in the body, whether it is trauma, from an accident or a disease that you're trying to clear out, something like that, you will want to support the immune system so it can deal with the die-off. Whenever there is disease or injury, there's blockage, and as this blockage is cleared out, it's the die-off waste. An immune cell has to attach each piece of waste so that it can be neutralized and removed from the body. If you do not have enough immune cells to attach and neutralize the waste that the body's trying to process out, it gets reabsorbed. And when you reabsorb the waste, that's when you become symptomatic. That's when you start feeling worse and worse. As long as the body's able to stay on top of the detoxing that's going on and move the waste along, and the bowels are open and the liver is moving, and all that's working well, you will hardly even notice the body constantly moving toxins and waste out. But when the immune system crashes, when there's not enough immune cells to deal with all the die-off that is being created or that needs to be moved out, and you start reabsorbing it, then you feel symptomatic. You feel like you've been run over by a freight train, and weird stuff starts coming up in your body. The new things that you say, the electrical stuff, all that is just toxins holding waste, and that the part of the body where the waste is being held is being affected, and it's affecting you. Disease is not just on the physical level, it also affects emotional and psychological. So it's going to affect on all three levels: spiritual, emotional, psychological, physical. Actually, that's 4 levels there, but a couple of them kind of go together. That's all intertwined, and when one goes down, they all go down, and when one comes up, they all come up. The liver is going to do it. The liver is going to reverse that. I do have herbal supplements and things that have the gravel root and the herbs in them that will debride, like for arthritic conditions and things like that. They debride and dissolve inorganic mineral deposits from the joints in the system. And I've seen that in my own body. When I was 18 years old, a friend and I were horsing around, and he fell on top of me, and my shoulder went into the ground, and I tore the ligaments in my left shoulder. And I heard them rip when I hit the ground, and my shoulder just ripped backwards. Okay, so my friend fell on top of me, and I tore my shoulder up. I wore a sling for a few weeks, and when it came off and the healing was done, I had a bunch of adhesions in my shoulder. And this was when I was 18 years old. And so for the next 20 years or so, I had numbness in that arm. The arm was weak. You kind of compensate and get used to it. I had no idea what to do to clear it up, but it just healed very badly. And in 1985, I was in a car accident, or actually it was 86 or something like that, in the mid 80s. I was in a car accident and my lower back was broken. The vertebrae was broken, and that caused me additional issues in my back for quite a few years, about 13, 14 years, whatever, until I discovered the bone, flesh, and cartilage formula. So when I came into the natural healing and got past the kidney failure and all the other stuff I was dealing with, I started working on my back, which I had really bad back spasms and things like that. And so I started using the bone, flesh, and cartilage formula, and within just a little bit my back cleared up, and I wasn't having the spasms anymore, and I was feeling a lot better. About 3 months into using the BF&C, I woke up one morning and I couldn't lift my arm, and I had shooting pains running down my left arm. And of course I'm thinking I'm having a heart attack, which was ridiculous. But my girlfriend had the presence of mind to ask me if I had ever injured that shoulder. And I thought, well, yeah, when I was 18, and I'd kind of forgotten about it. It was like way back in the midst of time, and I wasn't thinking about it. And she says, well, what's happening is the BF&C has debrided it, and because it healed so badly, it took it back almost to the day of the injury. It had dissolved all the adhesions in my shoulder and had taken it back to the place where the tendons and everything were all tore up again or weak because the adhesions weren't holding it together. So I wore a sling for a few weeks, and after the sling came off, I don't have any problems with this arm anymore. There's no numbness in the hand. The arm has strengthened as well as the other one, and it's fine. And that was the bone, flesh, and cartilage debriding what was in there, and that is the value in this formula. It will debride inorganic mineral deposits and even, adhesions. We use it for women with C-sections when the abdomen has all adhered together, scar tissue in the abdomen. It will help dissolve those things. This formula is formed around comfrey. The master herb in it for dissolving this type of stuff is the gravel root. Gravel root is all about dissolving inorganic stuff in the body, but it also works on adhesions and different things like that. And I've been using the BF&C as a formula since the beginning, back in the 90s. And it never fails. We make it as a salve, and then you would want to use the herbal extract internally. Now, using this formula to do this kind of work, when we're dealing with arthritic conditions and anything where you're going to be cleaning up areas in the body, you want to support your immune system because there will be die-off created. So you want to use your echinacea and support the immune system, along with your liver flushing, the bowel cleansing, and flushing the kidneys on a regular basis. And the liver flushing is, there's detoxing formulas. There are quite a few ways to do liver flushing. Everything from the real intense ELF, we call that, it's the emergency liver flush. And that's where you're doing 8 ounces of olive oil and 8 ounces of grapefruit juice, and you're laying on your right side, and it's changing that internal vacuum cleaner bag. So the ELF is just to flush the liver through and just clean it out so that the vacuum cleaner that is your liver can now pull better, because when it will only allow itself to become 70% toxic, and then it stops pulling and starts blowing, just like a vacuum cleaner. The way we make our salves is they're made with olive oil, which is a carrier. It carries it deeper into the system. So for the salves, for the topical, we put the herbs, we extract the herbs into olive oil, and that can be applied to flannel and then put over the affected area as a pack. With your press and seal wrap, you just put that over whatever the area is that you're dealing with, and put a towel over top the press and seal and then a heating pad on that, and that will drive it into the system and saturate the tissue in the area with it. And then taking the tincture internally is going to take it and put it in the blood and bring it to the affected area internally. If you have any questions or a topic that you would like me to cover, please feel free to email or text me with your suggestions. My email address is mail@healmarketplace.com. If you enjoy these, please do subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.